Trader's Edge with your host, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters out there. Welcome. I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge. Thanks so much for joining me. Absolutely my favorite thing to do. There is no place in the world I'd rather be. Well, maybe just one place, but I'm there right now. If you look over my left-hand shoulder, as I do, the way that I start my day is I take myself to that place of strength. I hope that you do too, because the first question you should be asking yourself is, what are the outcomes that you want for today? You know, you want to be able to live in the present, and you want to be able to make the impossible possible. You know, yesterday, which was a cool, first we'll just go quickly around the markets here, and then we'll spend just a little bit of time. I want to answer a couple of questions on some emails that I got yesterday. You can always reach me at steve@tfn.com. More importantly, folks, you can watch us live on TigerTV. You absolutely want to do that. Just go over to the homepage at tfn.com. You'll see the Tiger TV button, or over on the right-hand side, you'll see this little area. It's got some nice little red dots around it. You can hit that button. You can download the application to your iPhone, your iPad, your Android device. You can bookmark it, so all you have to do, you know, each day is just click on that. You'll see the live stream. You'll see the replays of live videos if you're watching this after hours or what have you. And it's a great way to be able to see what it is that we're doing, because your brain will take in more when you're both doing the audio and the visual. It's why visually, it's why I know that anyone that's really achieved anything great in life, they have visualized it first in their mind. The more you can turn that visualization into a reality, the brighter, the larger you can make it. That's how you start to begin to make the impossible possible. And that's really what it's all about. If we go around the world, yesterday you might have thought that the markets made the impossible possible. You know, we came on the air, the markets were moving south, if you will. They were moving down, and they staged, you know, a heck of a comeback, if you will. Nothing like sports stories. That's what we look at all the time. And so right now you've got the futures are up, Dow futures up maybe about 45 points or so. Mini S&P futures up 6. You've got the NASDAQ up 11. Small caps look like they're up 5 around the world. You've got the DAX is up 70 points. FTSE's up 45. The Shanghai was up only 7 points last night. Hang Seng up 230. Not much of a move considering they came back from New Year's, if you will. The year of the dragon, and I think yesterday were down about 430 points or 340. That could be a little dyslexic there on my numbers, but we'll go take a tour around there. King Dollar's trading down 28 ticks right now. Nikkei was up 9 points. So, you know, that's around the world. Things have been relatively stable here for the last several hours, and so we'll get to these markets. You can always give me a call, 877-927-6648. And one of the emails, two of the emails actually that I got yesterday were from folks that were asking me the question, you know, Steve, you know, they said, hey, long-time listeners, love listening to the show, you know, all the different elements, because I teach you about patterns, folks, and you have patterns in your life. We each have patterns in our life. That's why the markets trade the way they do. That's why we can watch the patterns that exist out there. I've always capitalized on patterns, and I want you to as well. You know, I did an entire workshop last Wednesday for free. If you didn't get it, it's all of my members have an archive of that. It's on their page. You can take a look at that for 30 days, you know, unconditional money-back guarantee. But it's what I taught. You know, what's very cool yesterday is I heard Basil's opening show as I was closing things up here in the production studio, you know, and he was saying, because that entire webcast, you know, was really, for me, it was really a focus on business. Now, I consider what it is that we do here a business. The moment you can make that shift, in that what we're doing, this is not a hobby, this is, you know, even though I call this the money game, and it is a game, and you need to make your business a game, you want to be able to learn how to really play that game well. Well, this game here, I consider a business. But my focus there in Wednesday's webcast were some of the tools and strategies, really, mostly about the strategies, mostly about what's in between the ear strategies, the belief strategies, the belief in yourself strategies, about how to be able to be successful, ways to get to your dream client. And what it's really, when you consider what life is all about being able to attain your dreams. You know, one of the things that I said yesterday, folks, is that life is an invitation. You see, I don't consider death an invitation at all. That's, at least for me, that is not an RSVP invitation I ever want to answer, right? But life life is absolutely an invitation. It's an invitation not only to dream, but it is an invitation to make the impossible possible. And there's a way to do it. There's absolutely a way to do it. It's understanding strategies and patterns. And when I went back and, as I was showering this morning and thinking about, hey, how did I want to really respond to those questions? And I'll spend the week, I'll spend my life, if you will, helping you to understand that, helping just one person. If I can just help one person a day, that is a beautiful thing. Now, how do you make the impossible possible? Well, let me tell you, here's where you really start, folks, and where you've got to start, whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you want to do. If it's going after a dream client, and I say I did a webcast, I can show you how to do it because I did it on a repeatable basis, time and time again. It's how I got to Michael Eisner. It's how I got to Danny Wade at MGM Grand. It's how I got to, I can just go through a whole list of people. Always about being able to go to the top, because when you're dreaming, folks, when you're dreaming, you got opportunities. You can either dream low or dream high. In fact, I can teach you how the rich get richer. It's not what they talk about on the air and why the poor stay poor. Okay, I can teach you all about that. But here's the deal. When you want to go, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to manifest in your life, however it is you want to turn the impossible possible, what you first have to understand in any business, and I talk about your life and my life as being a business, you've got to understand what are the constraints. What are the constraints that are holding you back? Now, the first thing that most folks will go to is they'll go to resources. They'll say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough education, I don't have enough confidence, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. Right? Am I right or am I right? You know that that's where the first place that people will go to, they will go to resources. I'm here to tell you that is all 100, not 100, 10,000% BS. That's all before Steve. That's how I want you to think of BS, folks, because it is not about resources. It's all about being resourceful. I've done things with so little in my life as far as where I've come from, where I've gone to. It is not about the resources. That's nothing more than an absolute excuse that you've decided that you've talked yourself into. That's a belief system that you believe. Likely, folks, you didn't even design that belief by yourself. You got that from somebody else. You got that from somewhere during your first 8 years of life, if you will. And you believe that somehow during your first 8 years of life that is what made you. And I mean, that's your wiring system. It's just like a house. Your house gets wired early, doesn't it? And then you add to it, and you subtract, you get additions, you destroy things. Well, you have to understand what your constraints are. And what I've learned is your constraints, you see, your constraints aren't resources. Your constraints are being resourceful. And so then what does that mean? Well, your restraints, folks, they're all about us. Your restraint is you. Your restraint is only what's in your mind. That is your entire restraint, because, you see, life is an absolute invitation. And the question is, which party or which party do you want to go to? Which movie is it that you want to make? It's actually a perfect day. We have these kind of schedule when my opening segments are, and we talk about, the opening segment today being the Rocky movie. Let me tell you, his constraint, could have been resources. The guy was poor as could be. He had to sell his dog. Come on, folks. He had to sell his dog, if you will. It wasn't resources. And what he didn't allow to happen, and what I don't want you to allow to happen, and what I want you to understand is the only constraint would be yourself. You see, he could have given up. I've had plenty of times. You have had plenty of times in your life where you could have given up, but you didn't. I know you didn't. I know you're here. I know even from the folks that are even having tough times, they haven't given up. They're looking for that little extra edge. Well, you have to understand your constraints. And when you understand that your only real constraint out there, there's absolutely only one constraint you have. It doesn't matter whether you have a disability, whether you have shortcomings. You can go and find empowering tales of folks with disabilities out there that have accomplished amazing things. Look at what Christopher Reeve did, Superman, if you will, after he was totally paralyzed or what have you, and you take a look at what he did after his life, you take a look at the number of people that he touched afterwards. So your only constraint, folks, is yourself. And what I call that is I'm. That's the I am, if you will. You are. I'm not the constraint in your life. I'm the constraint in my life. You are the constraint in your life. Well, then what's really cool is I just simply took that word impossible. And how is it that you make the impossible possible? You get rid of the constraint. You get rid of the I am in impossible. And once you do that, once you realize, and whether it's your business, if you're in a business, if you're a CEO or you're a divisional manager, whatever it is, what I'm really saying is, with regard to the success that you want in your business, whether it's the money game or any other business, folks, the constraint is you. It is not a constraint about customers. If you think it's about clients or customers, and I asked you right now to give me your list of 100 dream clients, could you do that? And if you couldn't do that, your constraint is not your clients, your constraint is yourself. If you think that playing the money game, your constraint is you don't understand technical trading, look at the tools that you have here. You've got Tom O'Brien, you've got Larry Pesavento, Basil Chapman, David White, Ken Shreve. You got the guys today, Tuesday, from 12 to 1, you got the option hour guys. There are no constraints that you have. You can, if you say constraint is money, I guarantee you we could go take a look at your life, and the only question is, it's not about sacrificing. It's never about sacrificing. Sometimes people will say, I'd have to really sacrifice to do this. No, it's not about sacrificing. It's about making an investment in yourself. You see, words are important, and you've got to be able to make a change. The impossible, it's 2 letters that make all the difference. Once you get rid of yourself as being the constraint, folks, you can make the impossible possible. That's all that you have to do. That is all that you have to do. That is what I want you to do. And what I want you to do, we're going to spend time during the week understanding what's really that next step, because that next step, folks, is your standards. What are your standards in life? Because the standards that you have in life, the income that you have in life, the wealth that you have in life, all of those standards, that is exactly what you want. The only way to get more is you have got to get a higher standard, folks, and that is why you're here. That's why I want you to be here, because I'm going to teach you how to be absolutely outstanding. Why? Because when you are outstanding, folks, right above that is where all the extraordinary rewards are. Thanks for being here. We'll be right back. We'll go take a look at the markets. 877-927-6648.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end, as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll you'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back, 877-927-6648. Let's start taking a tour around the world, if you will. Let's start in our world. Let's start in the S&P. What we've got up on the screen here is the ES Mini. This is the S&P contract, and it's a 30-minute chart that we're taking a look at. You know, we worked on the 30-minute chart really for the last about week now because of some patterns that are showing up here. And you've got the ES Mini trading out at 13.1625 right now. That's up about 7 points, and you'll see a couple things. So let's take a look. Let's go back. Let's take a little tour. Well, first of all, let's take a look at it. What you're going to see off of the high here on the ES Mini, the high here on this chart that we're looking at occurred at 10 a.m. on January 26th. So from that high all the way to the low that was made. That low came in yesterday while we were on the air when I was doing the Money Masters show at 10:30. During that first half hour, 10 to 10:30, you made the low. The low on the ES Mini came in at 12.96. So if you just simply took those 2 points and you went from the top to the bottom and you had your retracement ruler, that's your ruler, folks. It's going to have basically 3 levels on it. It's going to have 382, 618, 786. It doesn't measure inches. It measures emotion. And if we take a look at the emotion, one of the first places, you know, it's just like coming to visit us here at TFNN. You would stop at Suite 618. You wouldn't go up to floor 7, 8, or 9. You would absolutely only get off on elevator 6 to get to Suite 618. And that's what the markets do. And you can see that what the market has done in the early morning hours at 6:30 this morning, what it had done is done that 0.618 retracement. Yeah, it came in and it was saying hello to Tom and Steve and Al and Kathleen and everybody around here at Suite 618. And now it's just kind of hanging out. You see, it's just kind of hanging out. It's watching the show, if you will. It's watching us prepare for today's show. That's what happens normally in a marketplace. And if we go back a little bit further here, we take a look at what was it doing. You know, yesterday what we were showing you was we were showing this 3 drive to a bottom pattern. That was followed up by a bullish engulf, and that gave us a nice, and it's really important. I take a look at these candles as providing us with great information. And so the 3 drive to a pattern, 3 drive to a bottom pattern. Come on, Steve, get it out of you, right? 3 drive to a bottom candle. There we go again. Hey, get me a drink, would you? No, I'm just kidding. So that 3 drive to a bottom pattern was confirmed by a bullish engulfing candle. Then the market continued to drift higher up into that high that we were just talking about. Now, that area was broken yesterday. It was broken as we were coming on the air. It was broken right here where my cursor is, which was in the 9 o'clock time frame. And when it was broken and it moved down, look what it did. See, there's 2 other areas on that ruler of yours. Those are called your expansion, your Fibonacci expansion numbers. 1.272 is the first one, and 1.618. That is the second one, and you can see what it did here off of this swing point going back to 10 a.m. on January 25th. I think it was 10 a.m., right around 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on 10:30, January the 25th. You can see how you made a 1.272 expansion as you came down into that low there. It was a little bit over it was about a 1.20 expansion off of the low going back to the 10:30 time frame. If we come back here, what you'll see, I just went a little bit there. Remember we were talking about 618? Well, look at this. And I didn't see this while we were on the show because at 10:30 we were looking at something else. Might have had one of my co-hosts, and I'd like you to be a co-host today. All you've got to do is just give me a call at 866 or 87. I don't even remember the number right now. But you guys know the number. We say it all the time. It'll come to my memory in a minute. But what I wanted to show you is just simply look at this. So we had a 1.272 expansion coming off a swing point, and then we also had that 618. That 618 right here from 11 a.m. on January the 13th. That was Lucky Friday the 13th, folks. Friday the 13th. So you had a 618 coming off of that swing point. You had a .786 coming off of this entire set of swing points out here, folks, which was really going back to about the 17th at around 4 o'clock. You then had that same general area on the 18th. At around 4 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock in the morning I'm talking. And you got to get up early like myself. You know, that early bird catches the worm, folks, you know. And for those folks who say from a resource standpoint you don't have enough time, you're sleeping too much. You're sleeping way too much because you got 24 hours in a day. And I know you're not using all 20 of those hours that you should be awake and alert. And in any event, so you've got that 18th, you got 10 o'clock in the morning as well. So you had a .786. retracement off of that series, that set of swing points. So 786, 618, 1.272 expansion. No wonder the ES Mini stopped dead in its tracks and moved up here, made this move of a move. We talk about being able to make a move of a move. Make a move of a move. You come into a .618 expansion, and the question is, you know, what is the market going to do today? Well, I don't know what it's going to do today. You don't necessarily need to know what the market is going to do in order to be able to put on a trade. What you need to understand is wonderful, beautiful money management strategies. That's what I teach you. I teach you about average true ranges. I teach you how to play this game full out. I'm not intense, folks. I am just passionate about everything that I do. 877-927-6648. See, I knew we could come up with that number just like that. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
To the races. You've got the Dow up 59 points, S&P's up 7, Composite up 15, NDX up 12 points, probably led by Apple. Where is that? Apple up $3.44. Google's up $6 right now. Continuing around the world, DAX is up 80 points. We'll take a look at that. The FTSE up 45. King Dollar down only 18 ticks. King Dollar starting to make a little charge here. We'll go take a look at that as well. Light sweet crude trading up $2 out at 100.97. Gold up $2. No, I'm sorry. That was light sweet crude up $2. Gold is trading up $15 out at 17.46. Silver's up 45 ticks up at 33.99. Again, our call numbers 877-927-6648. And what I've got on my screens here, let's just take a look at it. What I've got on my screens here are the futures contracts for the NASDAQ, the Russell ES Mini, and the Dow. And what I want to pay attention to here is, what's really talked about in the media right now is the Dow. But if you really want to, what's really going to be giving us a signal is not the Dow, if you will, certainly not the Dow futures, because they have not even been able to get up to the high of the session, if you will. And the session I'm talking about is really over the last 5, 6, 7 trading days. Look at here on the Dow futures. Let's just go ahead and blow this up. Look at how this thing has been doing nothing more than trading in this rectangular trading range, if you will, just nothing more than sideways, building cause to go one way or the other, but the talk is about it just simply having the best, a great month, and it absolutely has been a great month of January, considering when we came back, or we closed out the year. You closed out the year on the Dow right here at December 30th, which was right about here. The close on the Dow there at Dow futures, at least 12,150. And right now trading out, obviously, I can't read that number, but 12,650, something like that. Now, let's, but what I wanted to show you here, give me a second here to bring the screen down, if I can do that. What I wanted to really show you, it's really the NASDAQ and the Russell here that are off to the races that are going to be giving us a piece of information. You can see how they are trading up near the highs. They're trading certainly up near the highs of this pattern, of this butterfly pattern. This is the Russell on the upper right-hand side. In the lower left, you've got the NASDAQ trading through this area. And I think those are going to be the two indexes, if you will, that are going to be giving us a piece of information with regard to where do the markets want to go, because they're already up there. They are the ones that are going to be providing the test, and so we're going to certainly want to watch what is going on inside there. You can do the same thing with the ETFs, if you will. I prefer taking a look at the futures contracts, just simply because they're basically almost trading around the clock here. And what we're taking a look at, if we take a look at the The Qs here, so let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs are going to give us a piece of information because the Qs on the, let's see, what trading session was this? This was on January 26th. So today is the 31st, last day. Hard to believe, last day of January already. You talk about having, your New Year's resolutions truly being in your rearview mirror, folks, and it's why you have to be so resolute about getting rid of the constraints in your life. Because once you can free up the constraints, that's how you turn the impossible into possible, folks. And we take a look at what's possible inside the Qs here. Well, the Qs right now, the tug of war, the battle, if you will, the line drawn in the sand is right there at the high of 60.80. You're trading out at 60.79 right now. Why 60.80? Because that was the high put in on January the 26th. From a bullish standpoint, you would like to see it close above that. Right now, it's doing nothing more than it's supposed to do, which is test that high. What we like to also do is take a look at where do the Qs close. What is the test now of this swing point going back to January 26, which had 37 million shares. So, today at 4 o'clock, we'll be able to see exactly what the Qs are signaling to us. As I said, the NASDAQ futures also on the futures contract giving us an idea of what's going on out there. Let's take a look at any of the other ETFs. Maybe let's look at the small caps out here. Small caps, you got the IWM, folks, and on the IWM, what we did yesterday, we drew in these two patterns, two beautiful patterns here. The purple pattern is the Gartley. This is a Gartley sell, 0.786 Gartley sell. That completed 3 trading sessions ago. That also completed on January the 26th. Now, the high on that was 79.91. Didn't create any real candle formation. It created 2 patterns, this light blue. So inside here happens to be a butterfly pattern. So you got a pattern within a pattern. Ooh, that is a beautiful thing. That's a recipe for success if I've ever seen one. And folks, when I talk about success, I'm talking about 70% of the time, one of those patterns would work and would indicate a reversal. So now you got 2 that are coming together. That's 2 70%ers. I don't think it's 140%, but let me tell you, you got 2 patterns that are converging at the same point in time. This says that area ought to hold. We ought to see reversal, and if we don't, folks, to me, that says that's going to give us a big piece of information. There are days, there are weeks, there are years where we don't have patterns like this that come together in all of the indexes, all the ETFs that are out there. This is what we live for. Why? Because what we're doing here is we're looking for clues. Remember, in the last segment, I said, I don't know where the market's going to go. You don't need to know where the market's going to go in order to be able to put on a trade. You've got a probability of where the market will go. That's why we use the expansion and the retracement rulers, because they give us a pretty good idea. That's why we use volume. We look for volume candles, we look for volume and candles. We look for high volume. We look for low volume tests, if you will, and see what's happening at swing points. Those are easy to identify. There's swings within swings, absolutely, just like there's patterns within patterns. Well, in this case here, there's really you can see that there's no swing, if you will, that the IWM is going against inside this entire pattern here. All that we've got is we've got a butterfly and a Gartley, and, right now you've got the IWM small caps trading out at 79.73. See what happens right now. You've got on that January 26th area, I think January 26th, you had the high 79.91. Let me take a look at the candle to the right. Yeah. So 79.91, that is the magic number. Right now, you had 52 million shares. So we'll see. We'll get an idea during the Money Masters show what kind of volume it is that we've got, at least initially, inside the market. Talk about a day of earnings, if you will. You had Archer Daniel Midland. I think it's Daniels. And let's go take a look and see what some of the folks that have released some numbers. ADM is the ticker symbol on that. Let's just go see if there's anything going on around there. You also had Exxon Mobil. You had Biogen, BIIB. We can take a look at that as well. Just all depends on my screens here, how quickly so let's see. Let's pull up Archer Daniel Midland ADM here, and see what we've got going on, see how that is trading out for us. And come on. The mind works faster than the computer some of these days, and it's just because I have so many different things that are going on here. Just you got the Dow is up 38 points. You can tell this is what you call as a strategic delay. Okay, ADM is trading down this morning, trading out right now at 28.78. Let's see, volume-wise. Let's try to figure out what is it that's going on out here. Were there any signals? Now, one of the things that we can take a look at is, I immediately see a bearish engulfing candle that occurred right out here on December the 2nd as ADM was making a high. Now, it was coming in here making 100% move of a move on December the 1st. Did that with 4.4 million shares, and that was going against a swing point that had 6.8 million shares. Got up above it, closed below it, and then on the following trading session, it created a bearish engulfing candle. That's why it's so helpful to be able to take a look at, to be able to have a confirmation signal. In this case, we had a confirmation because we tested a swing point on lighter volume, closed below it. That gave you a signal that the move to the upside was over. That doesn't mean that you short the stock. And, shorting the stock that's $30, I say that's got relatively low value in doing that because, your potential to the upside is a lot more than $30 where you're, and they're not going to go out of business. So you have to kind of use some reasonableness, if you will. But just simply if you were in the stock or you're looking to understand patterns, how they work, because they do repeat over and over and over again. In this case here, what is Archer Daniels? I'm just going to say Archer Daniels, all right, folks? And they're probably in Midland, Michigan, would be my guess. But Archer Daniels, what do? They come all the way back down to the bottom. Now, at the bottom, what you had here is you had a swing point on November 23rd, low of 27.65. Let's see, you had 27.67 on the session when we came back from Thanksgiving. So you had 4.2 million on the way down. 4.2 was on the way up. 4.2 now on the way down, and when you come down and you test it, what do we test it with? We test that with 4.2 million. So tested with 4.2 million. The final test came on January 19th with another 4.2 million shares. So what does it do? Moves up. They have an earnings release right now trading down. And what's it going to do? Let's see. This first swing point here that it's going after is the swing from January 18th that had 3.6 million shares. Today, so far, what you've traded is 1.3 million shares. So, you've got the juice in it, if you will. Looks like what it wants to do is come on back all the way down here. And you can see it's in nothing more than a consolidation, a sideways trading range right now. So you can expect Archer Daniels to get into the 27.88, maybe down to the 27.19 area before it gives you its next piece of information. Let's go take a look at the ExxonMobil. Why ExxonMobil? Well, one, they released earnings today, but two, because it is number, 1 or 2 inside the S&P, if you will. Certainly if you trade the DIG or the DUG, or the XLE, you absolutely want to know what's going on with ExxonMobil. They released numbers. I don't have the information. I know that they made a heck of a lot of money. You know what? I don't know, $9 billion. That, folks, is how you make the impossible possible. You got ExxonMobil trading down right now at 84.60. Was there any signal to us before the earnings release? Was there any signal at all that they gave us that maybe, they were not going to give us the type of results that the market was going to like? Well, of course they did. They made a bearish engulfing candle. At least I think they did. I know this was before the close. Let's go take a look at it here. What we're looking at is this candle here from January the 26th. Of course, January 26th, 15 million shares. In order to have made a bearish engulfing, it had to close that session below where the previous session opened. So the session on the 25th opened at 86. It can be right on the mark, too. So it opened at 86.77. Let's see where they closed on the 26th. On the 26th, right on the button, 86.77, forming a bearish engulfing candle, giving us a signal here that at least support was going to be the top of that candle or the top of any of the candles that it engulfed. And what it did, folks, is it engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4 trading sessions. And the high in that trading session happens to be January 23rd. So resistance, if you will, on ExxonMobil is 87.94. Very important to understand that if you are in either the DIG or the DUG, because it is such a heavy weighting inside there. Volume right now inside ExxonMobil, you've got 3.5 million shares. What's ExxonMobil doing? Well, you can see right now it's trading against the swing point of January 13th that has 15.5 million. The high on that swing is 84.92. You're trading inside that right now. Again, that was 15 million shares. Today, so far, you have done 3 million shares. And we're only, 17 minutes or so into the trading session. So it looks like it's got a little bit of juice behind it. Where would be the likely spot that ExxonMobil would trade down to? Well, you can see here, if you just simply take a look at a volume bar, the first volume bar over to the left that sticks out at us, that volume bar is right here. This is my cursor right here on December the 16th. You had 33 million shares. You can see that's also right down against the next swing point, if you will. That'll come down and attack. That's one spot where it could go. Let's take a look at this B point when it was making the ABC, because that swing point actually has got, looks like about the similar volume. That B point is high as 82.20. 35 million shares. So I would say that you're going to first find a resistance area if ExxonMobil continues to trade down and it blows through this swing point that we were talking about right here, which was on January 13th. Then your next area where you'd take a look at releasing a piece of information is on the, of course, October 27th. Of course it's October 27th. And that swing point there, as I said, it's got 35 million shares. If we just simply do retracements and take a look at just simply during this last leg here, C to D, what you're going to see is right in that same general area right here at 79 bucks, is you're going to see is the 0.618 area. Now, what you want to be careful with on ExxonMobil is it's got this gap that's open. It's got two. See, we've got 1, 2. There's probably a third gap. There's probably a third or fourth gap out here. So lots of gapping, if you will, going on inside the markets. That's on ExxonMobil. Let's go take a look at something that really had popped out here. This was before the market. In pre-market, you had, what was it, PCAR, PACCAR Inc. Let's go take a look and see how that actually opened here. And you can see how PACCAR Inc. opened up. And what it was also doing, it was going against, look at this. This is going against a gap down. So here's a piece of information for us. So you got, again, the ticker signal, ticker signal, PCAR. Look at the gap down you have from July 26th. Gaps down with 11 million shares so far today, and that's where it's up against. There's the line that's drawn in the sand, folks. Right now today, it gapped up. It's on 2.3 million shares. Got to a high so far of 46.63. The top of the, not the top of the gap, but the top of the gap down candle, 46.43. Be interesting to watch. And you also had here a bearish engulfing candle right here. So it's up against some fairly stiff resistance. 877-927-6648. Dow's up 35. We'll be right back, folks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on U.S. Treasuries, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you seek to maximize your returns. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit tfnn.com today.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650. I should get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
Yeah, I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks, and the king is back. Of course, we're talking King Dollar. I'm not the king. We're talking King Dollar here. I like to have a little fun. Hopefully you do as well in your life. And what I've got up on the screen here is the dollar index, the King Dollar Index, if you will. And so let's go take a look. And right now you got the King Dollar trading down 12 ticks and making its way, trying to push its way up, folks. And what you'll see, the light blue area on my screen here, this is a butterfly pattern. It's a 1.618 expansion here off of this X point that we've got right out here. And typically when you make those patterns, when you make butterfly patterns, usually the optimum extension of that is going to be, a 1.272 or 1.618 expansion to the opposite side. In this case here, how do you figure that out? You go from your A point. Your A point was right here down on December the 21st, all the way up, if you will, to the D point, AB equals CD, and sometimes it can be more than a 1-to-1, A to B equals C to D, but that's where you draw your A to your D, and then what you start taking a look at is your expansion. And in this case here, your expansion of 1.272, that comes right in. The number is 78.67. Where did King Dollar get down to this morning? I don't know. 78.87. First, let me make sure that I can read this properly. 78.87 would be the exact, okay, if you were into perfection, which we're not, because it is absolutely the lowest standard. When I kicked off the show, we're talking about constraints, and I said, we'll spend some time this week talking about standards, because that's really the next area that you've got to focus on when you want to be able to make your impossible possible, folks, because what you've got to do is you've got to learn how to turn your shoulds into musts. Because if you spend your time, I should have done this, I should have done that, it means all you're doing is spending your time on the shoulder. And you don't want to be doing that, folks, other than maybe read a newspaper or something. But otherwise, when you want to live life, you don't want to spend your time in your shoulder, if you would. You want to be spending time, where you've got to make musts. Well, the dollar must right now bounce from here. That's what it's saying. Why? Because it's making, it already made that expansion of that 1.272. That price would have come in at 78.87. It actually got down to 78.86, and you can see it push its way up. If it pushes its way up, then the market here is going to struggle to stay very green right now. You've got the Dow's up 36, S&P is up 5, and what it's all about, it's really still all about the currency out there. Now, if I just simply switch over to the correlation, so let's go take a look at our correlation trade there, just to make sure that everything is still in sync here, and you can see that it is, and this is the correlation where the blue line is King Dollar. That's the U.S. dollar index. I've inverted it, so it means that as the dollar is getting, as the dollar index is getting stronger, it's actually moving down on my screen, and you can see the impact as the dollar index gets stronger, the same direction, you know, almost tick for tick, if you will, inside the ES Mini, inside these markets. So you can't use it as a correlation to say if you're down this many points in the dollar index, it means you're going to be down this many points in the market. But you can see that directional correlation. Why is it important from a directional standpoint? Because we're trading in the direction of the market. We then go take a look and see where is the money. You know, we use that old Jerry Maguire, where is the money, if you will. And the money so far, folks, really hasn't shown up. If anything, the money where it's shown up, well, we know where the money is shown up. It's all in the bond marketplace. That's where most of the money has been going, because the money has been sitting on the sidelines when it comes to the equity market. So, you know, thanks for joining me. It's been always great. And, you know, folks, I really do want you to be able to turn those things that you consider to be impossible possible, because you can do it. I know what you've got inside yourself, folks, and that power that you've got within inside you is so strong. It will turn the impossible possible. Just get rid of the constraints, get rid of that I am, and you will set yourself free, folks. Stay tuned. You got the Money Masters, and we got Kate Stalter from 11 to 12, Option Hour from 12 to 1. We'll be back in a few. Thanks, folks.